Street Talking Other Stuff. Thanks for tuning in on this fine Monday morning, the last Monday in January. Ladies and gentlemen, spring is coming. Hope is on the way. But I do appreciate the fact that we've had a very mild winter. I hope it is cold, but not so much snow. But I really appreciate you tuning in today. Now look, I've talked about this. We opened Black Comedy last night. It's a farce. Last week, last Thursday night. It's a farce. It's playing at the Riverside Playhouse, right off of Wenatchee Ave, the east side of Wenatchee Avenue. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a funny show, and we still have 4 shows, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night with a Saturday matinee. I checked online today. There are still excellent seats available. Now, look, this show is funny. I mean, people are saying it's the funniest show they've ever seen. People are saying my face hurt, my stomach hurt from laughing so much. And the cast, we're having a great time with this one. It is a unique concept of a show. It's one unlike you've ever seen. And tickets are still available. You can go to the PAC website or mtow.org to get your tickets, and we'd love to see you there. But thanks. But look, I am glad that you are here today because I've got one of my favorite people in all the world here on my show today, a great guest. We're going to talk about more live theater stuff, so this is going to be a good one, so you stick around. Street Talking Other Stuff. We will be right back.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. We deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
I think that's a power line.
Nailed it.
Whoa, what the?
Are you gonna call 911 or should I?
Actually, we're late. I'm just gonna drive over it.
Afraid not. Down power lines are super dangerous. If you see one, you call it in.
Yeah, I just drove up to a down power line.
She gets it.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from Les.
Here we are. Okay, we're back, Street Talking Other Stuff, and I'm very happy to welcome Jamie Dunnigan. Jamie, nice to have you. The irrepressible Jamie Dunnigan.
Yes.
Okay.
Irrepressible.
It is, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Street Talking Other Stuff.
That's good. Yeah, you got it.
There we
You know,
go.
one of these days you can come in and you can co-host the show.
Well, I should just do it.
All right, yeah, we'll do that.
Maybe you want to take a break, like I'm taking a break this year.
Well, you know what? Why don't you tell us about what's going on?
How's that
with
for a
your
lead-in?
lives? That's great.
That's really
great.
good.
See, this is cool working with professionals.
Well, I don't know about professionals, but yeah, we're talking about Hot August Nights.
Yes.
Yeah, do you know this is our 12th year?
Yes, yeah.
And
I have seen every one of them but the first one.
You missed the first one.
I did. I don't know why, but we just, I think we're out of town or something.
I think we actually banned you from that show.
Probably. You probably said Magnotti can't come to this.
No, because you laugh too loud.
Can't handle
Rocky Horror.
Exactly.
Too many fishnets and
He's just going to lose.
Bustiers.
He's going to lose control.
No, we're doing. This is our 12th year, and we're doing Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Okay.
Do you know that show?
Not very well, no.
Yeah. Well, it's a musical that's based on the
movie.
hit movie
Right.
with Michael Caine and Steve Martin,
Yes.
which they were so hilarious. You're like, how could that ever be better?
Yeah.
And then I went to see it on Broadway with John Lithgow and Norbert Leo Butz, who is almost in a way even more funny than Steve Martin.
Okay.
In a musical theater way. So yeah, they made a musical out of it. It's absolutely hilarious. It's got a lot of twists and turns and surprise endings, and it's a lot of fun. And I think stylistically, it's really fun to follow up Rock of Ages, which we had a hit show last year.
I mean, you had to
sold out.
You had to add shows.
We
with
actually
Rock of
we
Ages.
didn't last
You
year.
did not?
We built them in because we
all right.
knew it was going to be a big seller. So it was such a big, crazy like concert kind of production.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Really wanted to come back and do an actual book musical that is, you know, that really makes you think. And that show was just a different animal. It was so fun. The plot is like paper thin.
Yeah.
And
Like, I'm sorry to say, like many musicals.
like many musicals, and you're just like, okay. And actually, the funny part was people would come up to me afterwards and they're like, that was so much fun. I don't know what it was about, but it was such a blast.
Well, that was true. We saw it twice, and it made a heck of a lot more sense the second time around. But it was, the
I'm
music
like,
was phenomenal.
Boy meets girl, and they end up together. Pretty much that's it.
Right,
You
right.
know, and a little
And
bit.
nobody died, though.
No one dies.
That's good. That's always a good thing for a musical when no one dies.
Yeah, nobody dies in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels either,
good.
which I'm happy to report. It's fun. I'm changing my role a little bit this year.
Yes,
after
I hear
12
that.
years, you know, I started this with Don Fox when we approached Matt Cadman, who was the new executive director at the PAC at that time, and we realized that the theater just sat empty all summer. And the fact that they had to lay off their staff, we decided to give it a shot, and here we are 12 years later, and it's just gotten bigger and better every year.
It was a risk
It
to
was.
stick something in August.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys questioned whether it was gonna roll or not.
Well, I didn't really question it because I figure, you know, people like to go to theater, but everybody said, oh, if they want to go to see summer theater, they'll just go to Leavenworth. And I said, well, I love going to Leavenworth to see the shows, but I want to do something different. We are not going to be doing the shows that they're doing in Leavenworth. And just playing with an edgier vibe all the way through.
Exactly. So.
And we've gone all over the map, you know. You've been in one of them, and
It was a bucket list item for me, literally. I mean, and for years I wanted to audition, but there was a couple years where I just had bronchitis when you're having auditions.
Yeah.
And then finally I was feeling really good when you did Full Monty. And I've told you this story before. As soon as I went home and told Rosie you're doing Full Monty, no, she said.
She says no.
And she was serious.
Yeah.
You know,
She said, absolutely
there's no
not.
way, you know. And I said, well, honey, there's no guarantee I'm going to get it. But no, honey, you are not trying out for that show.
I love that. Well,
you might have seen more of me than you would have anticipated.
She knew what was the right thing to do.
So I guess. So.
Well, speaking of Full Monty, so this show is written also music by David Yazbek, who
same guy?
wrote Full Monty,
Okay,
and book by Jeffrey Lane. And it's, if you're a fan of the movie, and apparently I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was really fun, but it was such a long time ago that I kind of forgot about it.
You know.
But as soon as I mention Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, people go, oh, one of my favorite movies.
Really?
Love
Okay.
this movie.
All right.
So I didn't realize it actually had such a big following, and I'm thrilled about that because I think it helps when people know a little bit what the show's about,
Sure,
or
yes,
they
it does,
have
you know.
a little bit. They're not just like, I have no idea what that is. I don't know what it is. But kind of a fun thing. Christina Capehart, who's been in 3 of our Hot August Night shows. Last year, she played Stacey Jacks, which was a huge stretch. As far as I know, I don't believe a woman has ever been cast in that role, and
that was an interesting
loved
change
doing
that worked
it.
very well.
I loved it. It actually made it less creepy to have a woman in that role.
You know, I didn't think of it that way, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It would have been, it would have been much more, I mean, people may have been irritated by having two women together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been a lot creepier had it been
because
a guy playing
that role is pretty creepy as it's written. And, you know, I mean, I shouldn't say it's the first woman. I mean, Tom Cruise played it, so.
Sure. Well, that's creepy in itself, okay? I am not a Tom Cruise fan. I'll let you know.
He was actually he was pretty good in it, in the TV or in the movie version of it. But Christina was amazing in it, and it was so much fun. And she's just a powerhouse. So we're beginning to wrap up production last year, and we had talked about a production that she was doing of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels in Florida right when COVID hit. So she was never able to, even though she was in rehearsals already and it was happening, it got canceled, and she's been wanting to do it. And I knew that. So we sat down, we had a conversation, and I said, you know, I would like to take a year to just not wear 12 hats, just wear 3 hats.
It this year,
so I'm not directing.
Oh my God.
Christina is directing it. I'm producing it and costuming it and doing some other things. But I wanted a year to like catch my breath a little bit, because it's just like you just finish one show and then you have to start planning the next show. And I'm like, maybe somebody else could do this year, and Christina's the perfect person. She is chomping at the bit. She cannot
very talented,
wait.
just
so talented.
The dynamic personality,
and her skills are all over the place. I mean, she has a very awesome job heading up an HR firm, and she's got really great people skills. And just watching her at the auditions was like watching somebody frost a cake. She was just,
watching her while she's conducting
beautiful,
the
way she was working with people, and it was very difficult for me to like sit in the background.
Well, that's
very
what I'm
difficult.
going to ask you. How's this going to be? You know, when
they're probably going to have to put a straitjacket on
probably
me.
And a gag.
Well, God, yeah, probably a gag.
Yeah, but then again, she is strong and smart enough to be willing to take your advice, but probably also to tell you to shut up and butt out when you need to.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for you, Jamie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, that's my next challenge is to sit in the background and be quiet.
Yeah.
I am still the producer, and I do have some creative control over how I want this brand to continue, and that's been very important to me, that we are constantly doing new things. We're not getting stuck in a particular rut. Like I could have easily gone, just based on the success of the last 2 shows, I could have stayed in that realm.
Sure.
And there are plenty of other musicals that are sort of like that, very low on plot and very
like most musicals.
very big on production values.
Yeah.
And we could have stayed in that, but I was like, you know what, we need to dial back a little bit, find that finesse that I think is so important in the array of theatrical productions, is that if you just stay with one thing, it gets tired.
It does, yes,
and
you're right.
To play around all the time and like go here and then go over here, completely different, and go over here. So I'm already thinking about what's going to be for 2026, and I want to go in a whole different direction. And it's interesting. I want to go backwards, way backwards.
Really?
To a musical that was. Very, very popular, but not done very often. And you're not going to guess. I'm not going to.
We're going to hold for a minute, but we're going to need to take a break. But I'm talking again with the irrepressible Jamie Dunnigan. You know, I love this guy. He's just a great personality, and he's a huge contributor to the live theater performance genre community of our town, and I really appreciate that. So we're going to take a break, come back, talk with Jamie some more. I'm going to ask him what musical he's talking about, but he's not going to tell me, I'm sure. I'm going to ask you anyway.
I won't.
All right.
I won't give in.
I'm going to ask you anyway.
Because I haven't even talked to anyone about this before.
all right, so-
but I love throwing stuff out like that.
It's just thinking, it's just you and me talking. It's not that anybody's watching this
Well,
show.
I think it'd be fun if I just put it out there as like, what do you think it is?
All right, okay. But hey, street talk and other stuff, you stick around. We will be right back. So
We could do that.
Her Royal Highness Queen Ella Stimo!
Join NCWLIFE channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on Saturday, February 8th. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Harvest Valley Pest Control, Merry Maids, Together for Youth, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Join us for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here. I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're back. Street talking other stuff. Talking with Jamie Dunnigan. And Jamie.
What?
I asked him off camera what the musical he's talking about, but he's not going to tell us. So.
Not going to say.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to guess, that would be fun. Phone in.
Phone in?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
do you have a phone in thing?
You know, when we first started the show, we talked about that.
I thought you did at one point.
I did when I had a radio show.
Yeah.
That was fun, because that was fun. Because when people called up and jerks, I was
Should we just give them your private number right now? Throw it out there. 509-699-1866. I don't care, you know. Doesn't bother me. My email, maddog@nwi.net. Mad Dog.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah, and you were taking a break. How did this come about where you thought that, hey, let somebody else?
Well, you know, I've been very, very fortunate the last few years, actually. I brought Bethany Christine Elkin in as my choreographer, and you know, she's such a pro and does such a great job and we work so well together.
And she's a really sweet woman.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah.
You don't want to get on her bad side, though. I'll tell you that.
Well, I have
She'll
practiced
done
not
with
getting
you.
on women's bad sides. Believe me, yes dear, no dear.
So I've started the collaboration thing a lot more. I mean, Don Fox and I work together, and then also with the PAC staff. It's been amazing. Mike Locke has been absolutely amazing in stepping up and sometimes doing the lighting, sometimes doing the set design, and sometimes both. And the entire staff, they're all amazing. And we all started it together, which was a fun thing. So there's been a lot of excellent support and collaboration. So I feel like this is just an extension of that collaboration. I trust Christina Capehart with my life. She's just wonderful. Right. She's so creative, and she has a way of talking to people and pulling things out of people that I think is exactly what we want to do. We want to keep digging in to characterizations into the show. Our goal always is to do it our way, not to do it like we've seen it done before.
Exactly. Yeah.
That across the board is my lifelong battle cry.
Yeah, no, I always tell
I want to see it different.
Don't watch the movie. Don't necessarily watch the play. I don't want you know, I don't want an impersonation of somebody. You know, I told Maya the same thing. My granddaughter Maya, who will play Juliet in the Wenatchee High School upcoming production of Romeo and Juliet.
Shameless grandfather plug.
Oh, yeah.
You have to.
No shame at all.
No
you
shame.
know? But I said,
I love that.
You know, I said, when this is over, we'll watch the Zeffirelli that came out back when I was in high school.
Yeah, I remember going to see it when I was in high school because we were studying it, and Olivia de Hussey.
Yeah, I remember.
She just passed away,
which is sad.
Anyway,
Enough about me.
Enough about Romeo and Juliet. But really,
Well, my
isn't every show about Romeo and Juliet in a way?
Well, kind of, yeah. You know, so.
Yeah. So this musical is hysterical, and there are so many fun roles in it, and twists and turns. You don't exactly know what's real and what's not real, and that's Christina's really playing on that. Like, here we are living in a world of AI and actually wondering what's real and what's not real.
Yeah, big time.
You could look at anything on TV, you could look at anything on your phone, on the internet. You don't know what's real and what's not anymore. It's kind of crazy, and yet this show been around since the 80s and playing heavily on that structure.
So, tell us about some of the characters and the people in the show.
So there's Lawrence.
But were you part of the casting process? Or
Well,
were you present for it?
I kind of went through it with Christina after she had what she thought she needed, and we had a great turnout.
Part of what a producer should do.
Some people that have been around, and some wonderful new people that I've never seen before. That was fun. So yeah, we sat down at the end of the night, we looked at things, we tossed around some different combinations, and then we had callbacks, and we got some good surprises. And
Really good. That's always nice.
That I love.
Yeah.
And again, not doing things the way they are stereotypically done, and not staying in that pattern. I think casting gets kind of boring when you just stick to that kind of thing. So some untraditional casting, love that always. Matthew Pippin is in it again. And
Matthew was in this show?
I know,
really?
it's crazy.
Really? Matthew's in it? That's strange.
Matthew's the only person that's been in every single Hot August Nights, and he likes to remind you about that.
He does, and aren't he and Mike Locke also? Mike has been involved in every production as well, so.
Every production.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's fun. So Lawrence is the lead person, and he's this very slick, kind of lovable character who is swindling basically wealthy women on the French Riviera, but he has this great song at the beginning. He's really, I'm just giving them what they want, you know, and it's funny, all these little twists of phrase, turn of phrase, and so he's set up this wonderful life, and he lives in this beautiful mansion, and he's living the life, and he's doing great. And then he's on a train ride, and he meets Freddie, who he sees. He's watching from afar, and he sees Freddie swindling someone, but on a small scale. And Lawrence is up here. He's like going for the hundreds of thousands of dollar scams.
He's
and
playing the big
this guy's like doing $100 over here. But there's talk of a new person on the French Riviera that they call the Jackal, and so he thinks he's watching the Jackal at work, and he's laughing inside. But then he confronts him and says, "Yeah, I just watched what you did. You're kind of small potatoes, aren't you?" And he goes, and then they start this conversation where Lawrence becomes Freddie's mentor, and is going to teach him how to do it properly, because he's all sophistication and suave and debonair, and Freddie is just this hot mess of a person. I know, oddly played by Steve Martin. I know it's hard to imagine, but
I can't even picture it.
But so funny, and just all the different angles that they take, and it's just a lot of fun. And then there's some incredible women that show up and are in both of their lives, and there's so anyway, John Merritt is playing Lawrence. And then Adam Eagle, who I don't know.
I don't know him either. That's a new name.
I'm trying to pull it up my boom.
Yeah.
That's me. my cast list here. Adam Eagle as Freddie, and he was hysterical. We do have an understudy. Rowan Kapler is going to understudy him.
He's making a good name for himself
He
here
is,
in town
and
as a young actor.
he's-
So.
I mean, he's just 18, and he's already like, he digs into roles. He was in our show last year, and that was the first time I've ever really worked with him. Man, he digs in so hard that at the end, and he was like, I'm not a dancer, I hope you know that. By the end of our show, he was killing it. And I'm sitting there with Bethany, the choreographer, and we're like going, Rowan, where's this coming from? You said you weren't a dancer, and you're killing it out there. You are killing it. So glad to have Rowan. I'm really interested to see what happens with Adam Eagle, because he just had this quirky funniness about him that seemed very natural and
where's
not
he
put on.
from? Is he from around here?
I have no
Has
idea.
he done other stuff?
I guess he's from around here.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him. So.
Sarah Melissa Daniels, I have to say the middle names on some of these people. She's been in 2 of our shows. She was in Kinky Boots, and she was in last year's show, and she's hysterical, and she's got a wonderful role. Maddie Atwood is got
Maddie, of course,
a hysterical role, and she's gonna tear it up, because it's just, the way it's written is just so funny. And what I like about this musical is it really follows the movie almost exactly. And a lot of, like for instance, Rock of Ages, it was a musical first, and then it was a movie, and then they changed the whole thing. They went in a whole new direction with the movie, and I didn't really like it that well, but it was funny. I mean, it was good, but this really follows the movie script and then adds these absolutely wonderful kind of old Broadway style songs that are, some of them very, very funny, and other just poignant and lovely. And
now, did you pick this show, or how did the selection of the show come about? Because I'm going to give you a word of warning.
Okay, it was a conversation with Christina, because she wanted to do this in Florida,
That's
and
right,
then
you said that.
COVID happened, and so she was not able to complete that production. So I knew she wanted to do it, and I was like, let's do it. Let's. It fits in our mode. Like, yeah, I feel good about it.
Well, let me give you a word of warning, if you don't mind.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Your passion for this is obvious, and that's cool. She's gonna have to gag you.
Oh,
because you're gonna have to really watch it, buddy.
I already gave her a word of warning.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm not coming to rehearsals. Maybe here and there, but I have to stay away, because it's hard. Even at the auditions, I'm like sitting there in the back, and I'm like trying to keep my hands down and say, hey, you, can you do this? How about trying it this way? How about this? I did a little bit of that on the front end, and then I kind of looked at her, and I was like, oh, I need to go sit in the back. And I went in the back and watched for a while, and then I took a nap, which was awesome, because I had skied all day, and I was kind of tired. But I was like, I need some self-control, because it's my baby. You know,
but that's the thing. You want to do a show you're passionate about.
Yeah.
There's a couple I'm thinking of, and I'm just not thrilled about it. But you want one where the people involved behind it are passionate about it, and they're really going to sell it, and present it, and give their heart to it. So, all right, cool.
So Sarah's playing the lead female, and then she has an understudy. Her name is Ella Berry, and
have you had understudies before?
Occasionally,
Really? Okay.
occasionally. In Full Monty, we did, because all of those parts were so integral that we needed to make sure that if something happened, we had people that could cover them.
Yeah,
so we did that.
And I remember in Chicago, you got 2 people. You had both.
Well, that wasn't an understudy. That was kind of fun. I had Dana Taves and our friend that we were just talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Brian,
right? Look, I'm 71.
Brian Higgins.
I'm lucky I'm remembering your name.
I'm trying to help you remember things. Brian Higgins. And that was fun, because one was a lead female, lead male, and then they would switch.
Yeah.
That was a blast.
And that's one thing I regret, because I only saw Dana do, Big Mama.
Right.
Okay.
And that was fun, because we had people coming back to see it again. But my favorite memory was calling Dana to ask her if she would accept the role of Mama, and she said yes.
Okay, well, I gotta cut you off.
And I said no.
We got like 15 seconds.
You're playing more.
We got 15
You
seconds.
can't cut me off,
Jamie,
Mike.
love ya. Okay, Street Talking on this stuff. Thanks for tuning in. And like I said, he's the irrepressible.
This is how it's going to be with Christina.
Yes, get tickets for Lock Comedy. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Are we done?
Yes, we are.